My name is Brian Sommer. I'm an attorney with IME Law. I practice entertainment law with a focus on virtual reality. Clients range from producers, content creators, including the host of today's VR distribution panel, Radiant Images. I'm here to share some war stories and some takeaways that will help you make your VR production that much more effective. So one of the most important things you have to consider when doing a VR production is you need to own your content. Nothing could be more important than making sure you have good agreements in place before you start working with someone else. If there's one thing to take away is have an agreement in place before you start working with someone so expectations are set ahead of starting work. It will make your life way easier. And we see time and time again as people venture into the VR space, they're starting to get ideas, they're spitballing with others, they're starting to get others involved with the content creation. And you might have somebody help with producing or directing or writing, but you don't have any agreements in place. And the consequence is that you very well may not own what you're creating. And we've seen that in instances where people are making something, it's getting picked up for festivals or other high-profile interests, and they look at their documents, they're like, we might not have owned what we created. And it always costs way more to fix a problem than to prevent a problem. And while it might not be fun to invest in an attorney, it's why studios are successful and why they survive is they do things professionally. And so one of the most important things is have to put into your budget and make it a commitment to make sure you own your content. And the way you own your content is making sure you have good written agreements in place. Don't jump at the first thing that's offered to you, but if you can, if at all possible, try to see as many deals as possible before committing to one. Have some perspective before committing. So two important concepts we see are problems that trip up clients is something to help read up on is the idea of licensing and what a license is. It's something that's readily available to read up on the internet, but a lot of times when you finally create a VR product, you're like, hey, I want to go to PlayStation or I want to go to Oculus, and they're going to give you an agreement. And like, what is it that they're asking for in terms of exclusivity? And that's in terms of the license. So you create something, you're saying, hey, I want this to be able to be viewed on this platform for X number of months. And the understanding you have to really understand is the concept of non-exclusivity or exclusivity, meaning does that content only get to live on that one distributor or that one publisher for a certain amount of time, or can you go ahead and make a deal with them and go elsewhere? So one word can mean all the difference to how you could exploit and monetize that concept. When you're negotiating with distributors or publishers with your content, really try to shop around your options before committing to everything. Really try to get the lay of the land to understand, educate yourself on the deal terms and the deal flow. So when you're negotiating, you have some point of perspective and reference. And another thing to really understand is making sure you understand the difference between an employer or an independent contractor and making sure you understand the copyright laws that go with each of those. So when you do your agreements, you're making sure you get all ownership of your created content.